Hello, I'm Angelo Tan. I'm the country lead for climate business at the International Finance Corporation. And I'm here today to talk to you about why you should invest in an EDGE zero carbon building. But first, a little background about who we are. So, the International Finance Corporation is one of the five member organizations of the World Bank Group. IFC is the private sector arm of the World Bank Group. And within IFC is a group called Climate Business Department that provides advisory to ensure that private capital goes into more climate smart investments. And in this case, an EDGE zero carbon building. We engage with a variety of stakeholders, but something that's very relevant to this discussion is how we engage with real estate developers like Arthaland to provide advisory to ensure that they get their buildings to net zero status. So that's the orange portion that you see on the screen. We're currently working with Arthaland to get Savya Financial Center to net zero status through EDGE Zero Carbon certification. And let me tell you about EDGE Zero Carbon and what it means to you as potential investors. So what's a net zero building? I think it's very important for you to understand this globally accepted definition of what a net zero building means. So it has two core components. The first one is that a net zero building is a highly energy efficient building. At the same time, it should be fully powered through renewable energy or carbon offsets. And these two components are critical because we don't want just any energy guzzling building to claim that they are net zero buildings just because they have renewable energy. And both of these components are being incorporated into Savya Financial Center. So let me tell you about EDGE. So EDGE is an international green building rating system. It's an innovation of the International Finance Corporation, and it's this advisory that provides the certification for Savia Financial Center's net zero status. EDGE has three core components. So the first one is that it has a free software that allows developers to identify the most cost-effective measures to build green. The second is that it's an achievable standard. So a building meets the EDGE standard by meeting 20% efficiency across energy, water, and materials. And then finally, each EDGE certified building receives a certificate once it successfully goes through the certification process. Now, let me go through each of these components one by one and tell you what it means to you as a potential investor. So you can see on the screen quite a few numbers. So these numbers are generated by the EDGE app once Savia Financial Center completes its certification. So you will actually see what are your efficiencies on energy, water, and materials. And this is something that's very important for you as investors and locators because this directly translates to utility savings for when you occupy the building or when you lease it out to potential lessees. You will also see that it will tell you what are your potential utility cost reductions. It will report on the incremental cost of building green and the payback period considering the incremental cost and the utility cost reduction. And I think that's very important for you as investors and potential tenants because looking at the last two rows of the screen, you can see that it will report on embodied energy savings, water savings, operational carbon dioxide savings, and carbon emissions. So for example, if you're going to purchase an office space here or rent an office space, then you will actually be able to extract these numbers and include them in your sustainability reporting. And as you know, investors and really the general public are becoming much more aware of the environmental impacts of their buying decisions. And it's good for the brand too. Now, there are three levels of EDGE certification. The first one is EDGE certified. So that's for projects that have at least 20% energy efficiency. And then we have level 2, that's EDGE advanced. It's for projects with at least 40% energy efficiency. And then finally, we have EDGE Zero Carbon, which is for EDGE advanced buildings with renewable energy or purchased carbon offsets. And I'm glad to share with you that Savia Financial Center is aspiring to achieve level 3, which is the highest level of certification. EDGE Zero Carbon. And it will potentially become I believe it's going to be the 10th EDGE Zero Carbon building in the Philippines. So, what does it mean to be in an EDGE Zero Carbon building? So there are three ways of achieving EDGE Zero Carbon. So the first one is that, so I mentioned this already, 40% energy efficiency. And then for older buildings, they need to have building retrofits to get them to EDGE Advanced status. And then finally, C stands for carbon offsets or renewables. So that's purchasing offsets for the emissions in the operations of the building. So we created this easy to understand ABCs of EDGE Zero Carbon because we believe that we need to demystify what EDGE Zero Carbon means and what being a net zero building means. And I hope that this would resonate with you as potential investors and locators for Savya. And really what we're trying to do with Savya Financial Center is to replicate what we successfully did with Arthaland Century Pacific Tower. So this is something that we're very proud of. Arthaland Century Pacific Tower is the first EDGE Zero Carbon building in the world. So, as Filipinos, I think we should be proud of this achievement. And a lot of other office projects in the Philippines are now trying to replicate this success. And soon, hopefully, we can award the EDGE Zero Carbon Certificate for Savya Financial Center as well. You can see here that uh, the green solutions include higher thermal performance glass, occupancy sensors, daylight photoelectric sensors, condensate water recovery, and a gray water treatment and recycling system. Now, I know that's a mouthful and, it seems a lot to take in, and it's highly technical, but what it really means to you as a locator and also a potential investor is that you will be able to save on your utility bills. You will see on the right that the building promises energy and water savings in at least 40% for energy savings. And that's something that you will realize, if you locate in the building, you will benefit from this because it will lower your utility bills. Or if you do decide to lease out that space to another party, then there's the upside on the rental because you give that promise that whoever will occupy the space will benefit from the utility savings themselves. Now, why do you want to invest in a net zero building? So EDGE is going to provide an internationally recognized green building certification for Savya Financial Center. And that certificate will bear the brand of the World Bank Group. So it's something that resonates with a variety of stakeholders. EDGE is recognized globally by various disclosure platforms. And for example, if you're going to do GRESB reporting, then you can actually get additional points for the EDGE zero carbon certification of your office space. The second bullet here is that it has a cost calculator that quantifies the efficiencies on energy, water, and materials. It also quantifies on the utility savings, and more importantly, how much you lower your environmental impact with your buying decision. The third one is EDGE is focused on resource efficiency. So all of those efficiencies that I mentioned on energy, water, and materials directly contribute to utility savings, operational savings for when you actually occupy the space. And then finally, it's bioclimatic modeling. One common complaint with other green building rating systems is that they don't really have a local context. What's very good about EDGE Zero Carbon is that it actually incorporates the local climate, the local baseline data, the specific city where the project is located, and the specific building typology. And in this case, it's an office space. Now, I invite you to reach out to us to learn more about EDGE Zero Carbon and to learn why this makes a very good investment on your part. We hope to continue our ongoing collaboration with Arthaland, not just for Savya Financial Center, but in all of their future projects. And again, this, I think, is a very important relationship. From the start of our launch of EDGE in the Philippines, I think way back in 2016, Arthaland has always been there. They've always been an EDGE champion, and you can be assured that your investment has the stamp of the World Bank Group. It's been validated by a third party, and that it's being delivered by organizations that have made the commitment to make this world a better place. Thank you so much.